Hey there, my fellow cornbread lovers. I hope you're ready to learn the recipe that I'm going to share with you because it is so fluffy, moist, and fabulous that it'll have your guests coming back for more. Alright, I'm excited about this one, so let's go ahead and get started. To a big mixing bowl, you're going to add your cornmeal, your flour, and I do recommend organic unbleached. You're going to add some baking powder, sugar, and some salt. Now, while I'll put the rest of the ingredients down in the description box, you'll also grab 2 eggs. Another recommendation I'll make is to use a locally produced cornmeal. It just really gives it a better flavor. And if you haven't tried King Arthur flour yet, trust me, you'll thank me once you do. So in your mixing bowl, you're going to combine both the flour and the cornmeal just to get everything blended all together. And additionally, one thing I am going to share is that I am going to put 2 different measurements in the description for the baking powder because the cornmeal that I'm using is self-rising, but I know all cornmeal is not like that. So I half the ingredients, and I'll include both measurements in the description. So that way, if you choose cornmeal that is not self-rising, you still get that nice fluffy texture. And just as with any recipe that you bake, it's best to combine the dry ingredients in the beginning, and you know me, I'm going to make my little well for the wet ingredients in the center. That way it gives everything an even distribution. Add the oil of your choice. I went ahead and went with canola because it gives it a moist texture and it's a good butter substitute. You're also going to add in milk. I chose buttermilk because again, it has a great flavor, but you can use any milk of your choosing. I just recommend that if it is a dairy option, you might want to add a little more oil because as we know, pasteurized milk gives a fat, or adds a fat to the baking ingredients. Now I'm going to add in some vanilla extract and some honey just to give it a little boost of flavor, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I will share that the vanilla and the honey give the corn a very good enhancement. So even if you just want to add one, that's perfectly fine because some people don't like their cornbread extra sweet. I do, but everyone doesn't. So if you want some that is not too sweet, but just enough, you can choose to add 1 or 2 of those items. And I'll include the increments down in the description box. And if you really like it sweet, feel free to modify it to your liking. So you're going to go ahead and mix those up and make sure you get all the lumps out. Now I choose to do this part prior to adding the eggs because it's easier to get those clumps out without the eggs. That's just my discovery. So you just go ahead and put some elbow grease in there unless you're using a power mixer or an electric mixer. I call them power mixers. So you're going to go ahead and do that and get all of the clumps out of the batter beforehand, or as much as possible at least. So a little fun fact about me, I honestly don't really eat cornbread too much unless it's either Thanksgiving or if it's like if I'm eating some kind of greens, like collard greens. I don't really like turnip greens, but if I'm eating collard greens or chili or just something that pairs well with cornbread. I also do find that I crave it a little bit more when it gets cold outside, so that's another cute tip. When do you like to eat it? Feel free to share in the comment section below, and also share any fun anecdotes that you might have making cornbread during your childhood or shoot your adulthood with family members. Speaking of family members, so something that my family does, my dad's mother, who I call my mom, she told or taught my mother how to make stuffing with cornbread. So we don't use regular bread. We prefer to use our cornbread base or cornbread to make stuffing. And some people call stuffing dressing, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's one thing that I really enjoy about cornbread also. I really like putting the herbs and spices in it to add that extra kick to make the stuffing. Now, if your family has a great recipe with regular bread, please share, because I'm definitely open to trying new things. Now, please forgive me for how this pan was out of the frame, but we're gonna go ahead and add your batter to a greased pan. I do recommend shortening because butter burns quickly. And another good thing about this is you don't have to flour the pan before you add in the batter. Now what you're going to see me do here is just evenly distribute the batter. Honestly, I was having a little fun because this kind of bread, you're not going to really see the grooves that I'm making in the pan, but I just thought it would be fun to do that. So you can do it that way, or you can just shake the pan and make sure that everything is evenly spread out. So when you cut it into squares, everyone gets a size that is comparable. So you're going to go ahead and cut your oven on 425 degrees if you haven't already, and add in your cornbread. You'll go ahead and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes, but it'll begin to rise about 5 to 7 minutes after you put it in. Once you take it out, it's going to be pretty and golden brown just like this. Now, if you want to go ahead and add a nice little honey spread on top, feel free to add 2 parts butter, 1 part honey. And go ahead and smooth it on the top. I recommend doing this while it is hot because of course it allows it to easily melt, or easily penetrate the bread and give it a little more moisture. And again, you see me going ahead and having fun, so I definitely recommend you do the same. One recommendation I do suggest is ensuring that you get all of the edges on the outside. So once you've allowed the butter to go ahead and soak through, you'll go ahead and slice it up. Make sure you have evenly cut squares, or if you choose to do the muffin method, I suggest you ensure that you bake the items with an equitable distribution of the batter. And if you want to find out a good way to do that and learn my trick, check out my video of the strawberry cupcakes. I share in there how I get every cupcake and or muffin I make to be the perfect equal sizing. And I'll also leave the link for that in the description as well. Now for this next part, I recommend using gloves unless you're making this for your household. Look at that, it came out so fluffy, and that's how you want it to look. And again, I want you to have fun with this. I know for me, baking is so relaxing and exciting all at once. So feel free, as you prepare for people to come, you just want to make sure you're in great spirits, especially when you're serving food. So feel free to have fun as you decorate the plate and present it for everyone that will partake. And you don't have to do it this way, but if you're interested, the method I am using is stacking. So what I'm doing on the bottom is just creating a barrier for the middle layer to go ahead and lay on top. And then I'm gonna put a piece on the top just to make it a cute little pyramid theme. And I'm gonna make sure everything is just even so that it just looks as pretty as possible. So I hope you try this, and I hope you really enjoy it, and the people you serve it to enjoy it as well. Let me know how it comes out in the comments section, and also let me know how you enjoy cornbread during every time of year, because I know some people like to eat it all throughout. Don't Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you next time.